How's it going, everybody? Right now, there is a strike at the ports because of what's going on with the longshoremen. And from my understanding, longshoremen are the people who carry the goods and make sure they get onto the docks and the boats. If anybody in the audience wants to elaborate on that because they know a little bit more about the longshore, the maritime industry, feel free to inform me. I'm gonna try to jump in, check the chat to see if there's any comments or so. I'm gonna check the chat real fast. I don't think there's anybody commenting yet. But I will show a video which I think could speak to the situation. There we go. Hopefully. I had the video up and oh, come on. I lost the video when I logged on. But I want to be careful because I don't want to put anything that I don't agree with. Okay, let's see what this guy has to say. Can't hear it. I cannot hear him. Give me a second. But I think it's important as people to try to resonate with what people are going through, right? We may not necessarily all be in the same exact situation, but I think especially as see if I all right, let me know if you can hear. Let me take the mic out.
I tell you, first week,
we don't want automation. Automation does not feed our families. They don't feed your family. They don't feed mine. So we don't need automation at our ports. Our skilled men and women that's standing here behind me and supporting this victory, we are skilled labor. Automation can't keep up with us. Tampa is growing.
So basically, what I'm hearing so far is they don't want these jobs to be automated and sent out.
We lost a lot of our members for COVID. They were away from their families day in, day out, when nobody else could work. We want them to show us appreciation. So whatever our ILA president decides, we're going to follow him. His name is President Harold Daggett. We're going to follow his lead in this matter, and we're going to get this done. We expect to win out of this strike. We don't want automation.
Here's the take on the longshoreman strike that you're not going to like. Just hear me out on this. Let me dig this hole, and you can cancel me afterwards. Maybe you're not worth 120 to 200K a year with a great retirement and the best medical benefits if you could be replaced by a robot. If I was president and some union wanted to hold the entire economy hostage 30 days before a presidential election, I would get on national television and say, any illegal immigrant living in the United States, 18 or over, if you come...
We know that we're in a fight. If they want to fight, then a war is what they're going to get. I've been a longshoreman for over 23 years. And one thing I do know to be true, gas has went up. The cost of living has constantly went up. And throughout these 23 years that I've been on the waterfront, we've only asked for $2, $3, or maybe $5 over the course of the contract. We've done our part. And now we're asking, hey, you do your part, because during the pandemic, we never stopped working. Imagine that a hospital is looking for a type of blood to be shipped to it, and it's on the ship that I'm working on, but it's pouring down raining, lightning. We can't stop working. We got to get that box off so that hospital can continue to drive and save the people's lives that they've been working on. So that's where we're at with it. And we just want to be respected for it. And I think it's high time that we demand that. And we're long overdue. Automation is serious. Because when you bring new automation in to take away from our jobs, you don't make means for that person to have a job. They're pushed over to the side, and they can't do their job that they've been accustomed to doing. What we're asking is allow our people to continue to work in this industry without going to get an extra job to make ends meet. Allow us to take care of our families like we've been doing with the wages that we currently have in place. Continue that trend. That's all we're asking for. And if we have to sit out 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, we're prepared to do that.
Okay. So first of all, I would want to say I do think it's important. I think as a follower of Christ to empathize with what people are going through, right? Or at least take some respect or try to show some respect to what people are going through. I don't know the situation very well. It's obviously an issue. Secondly, I do think it's important to the one particular video where the guy had the hot take. He was saying that maybe there is a lack of skill, or that's kind of what I'm getting, if you can be automated. Another thing is, if anybody's in the chat who knows this a little bit better, do let me know, because I've heard different things in terms of the payment. I don't know if they're making 150 to 200,000 a year. I don't know if that's true. Let me look it up. Longshoreman salary average. Right? I don't know enough about the industry. I'm seeing in New Jersey 63 to 84,000, but I'm also seeing some people can make 100,000. So let's say around so 40,000. I'm seeing so 50,000 on Glassdoor. So let's say about 60,000 a year. 60,000 is not the same as 150,000, but 60,000 isn't. It's not. That's a decent wage, but I imagine that work could be painstaking, it could be laborious. So I think it's important to see where they're coming from. I know a lot of people are nervous about automation taking away jobs, or intelligence taking away jobs. I don't know if that will be the case in this particular industry. And there's different takes on that. I've heard a point where an individual was saying he doesn't even think I think he was saying like only 25% of jobs could be taken over with with um artificial intelligence. And I do think it's important to look at these labor jobs right now, because a lot of people are looking at remote work now. A lot of people are doing work that is geared more towards the internet. So I do think there are probably more opportunities in the labor space. Um, that's my thought. I it does seem to be it does seem like there has been a level of resolution though. It does seem like they have come to some sort of um like the strike is pretty much over in certain senses. Um Let me see. So according to ABC News, okay, so there is a 62% pay raise over the next 6 years. Tentative. It's a tentative agreement. I know the ILA president has been pretty active, um, but I do think it's important to show that it's important to see that there's a level of pain. The guy was mentioning the price of things going up. I think a lot of us as Americans and probably around the world are feeling some of these uh the price increases, a lot of it because of the wars and things going on. I may speak on what's going on in Iran. Well, since I'm here, I might as well speak on it. um that could be another thing, and that may influence voting and things of that nature in the upcoming election. I think it is tricky when Iran is when Iran steps in, it causes a problem, because if you look at the dynamics in the Middle East, it's Saudi Arabia tends to side with the United States, right? So, and they're Sunni, and then Iran is Shia. So Iran and Saudi Arabia have their challenges, and the United States and Iran have had their challenges um, in the past, when they had like those hostages. Um, but the goal is hopefully this doesn't escalate, because if this escalates, then potentially Turkey, who seems to probably align with Iran, and maybe Russia, who might be aligned with Iran, might jump in. And we don't want a world war. We're already the people of Palestine, the people of the Israeli people are already struggling. The Ukrainian people, the Russian people are already struggling. The Americans have a little bit of are having their frustrations as well. So I think it's important as Americans that we try to be as careful as possible not to incite any level of aggravation that could potentially start I appreciate the people that have liked the video, by the way. um that could incite any level of aggravation worldwide, because at the end of the day, and this is not a criticism of presidents, but it's the truth, right? The president is not going to be the one who's going to be sending their children or sending their father or their mother overseas. So we have to be, I think, it's important that in Washington to pick and choose our battles, because nobody wins in these wars, right? United States is definitely the most powerful army in the world, but when people are coming back with PTSD, when people are coming back with injuries, missing arms, missing legs, unable to recover financially, unable to recover in terms of their brain, cognitively, it affects a lot of people, not only their family, it affects the community. So I think we have to be as careful as possible when stepping into issues relating to war. As far as the longshoremen, I do think we want to be as empathetic. We want to be sympathetic to the situation. And this is another thing, and this is not meant to be rude or disrespectful, but it's just a question. Like, even me in my life, I'm just barely starting to get back rolling after being laid off. So it's what can longshoremen do? And if anybody knows this field better than I do, feel free to chime in the chat. But what can they do to upskill? I think that's one thing that we got to do, as people. If we can help one another to upskill, to get our skills better, so we're staying ahead of the curve. So automation or technological changes are not displacing people. Is there ways for longshoremen to get to the next level? Because obviously they have the ability, they have the know-how, and they have the knowledge from previous yesteryear work. But what can they do to almost be irreplaceable in the workplace? And some of that may just be soft skills, like how they relate to their workers, how they boost morale, things like that. But those are my takes on that situation. I'm wishing everybody well. God bless. In Jesus' name, amen.